Money Matters is brought to you by the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited and Capital Financial.
Good evening and welcome once again to Money Matters. As you know, Money Matters is a show where we talk to you a little bit about the financial services and products offered by the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited and Capital Financial. Today we have with us Mr. Paul Maxwell, the CEO of Capital Financial, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself and his company and the great things that they're doing. Hi, welcome, Paul. How are you doing, sir?
Good, pretty good. Thank you very much for having me on the program.
So can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you managed to get to where you are right now?
Okay. First and foremost, let me thank you very much again for having me on the program.
You're welcome.
My background is finance. I would have spent 12 years or so at Cape Wise in the finance department, regional finance, that is working in regulatory affairs before I left, working in finance management accounting before then, and doing a number of cost studies for governments and so on as liberalization took effect across the Caribbean. So our role was to work with Cape Wise to ensure that as competition came, that Cape Wise's position was not weakened tremendously.
Right.
So that brought me to a position where, from a finance perspective, I did a lot of the proprietary work in terms of the acquisition of our company, Capital, but formerly Clico Mortgage and Finance. I was an executive director, meaning that at the point of purchasing Capital, I was asked to just oversee the transition from Clico Mortgage to Capital, and to ensure that the synergies that existed or that we thought existed between Capital and the credit union could essentially be realized. In 2011, March 2011, then the CEO, Mr. Andrew St. John, retired, and I became the CEO, the CEO going forward from March 2011. And Mr. St. John sat on the board up to December last year. So he continued in assisting us in respect of being on the board. But now he has retired from the board, and he's been replaced by someone from the outside. But essentially, I'm now the CEO, essentially responsible for day-to-day activities, responsible for strategic direction, and also responsible for our office in St. Lucia.
Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break, pay some bills, and be back with more Money Matters.
Make your Christmas everything it should be with the help of our affordable Christmas loan. Buy fantastic gifts for family and friends, shop for food and groceries, and fix up your home for the season. The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Christmas loan is available today. Also, get your free Co-Optima card to access discounts from our participating retailers.
The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union, this is where you belong.
Bellevue House or Bellevue Plantation Estate is your #1 venue for weddings, private functions, entertainment events, large family holidays, or retreats. Bellevue is located just 10 minutes from Bridgetown and South Coast beaches and has a lovely view across the Bridgetown Harbor. We have large entertainment rooms, spacious grounds with large swimming pool and bar area. There are 2 large dining tables that are great for elegant dining or holding board meetings. If you want a classy, spacious, affordable location to hold your important function in style, call Bellevue today, because we'll go that extra mile.
Barbados is a beautiful place to live, and you work hard to support your family so they can enjoy a good quality life. You spend your money wisely, and that is why you need reliable insurance coverage for your home, its contents, and your car. Cooperators General Insurance offers very affordable rates. It is owned locally by the credit union movement, and special discounts are available to all credit union members. So your choice is an easy one. Protect your family and your investments by insuring with Cooperators General Insurance today. Cooperators General, insurance the way you want it to be.
Hi and welcome back to Money Matters. As I said before, we are here with Mr. Paul Maxwell, the CEO of Capital Financial, And Paul, the first question I have for you today is tell us a little bit about Capita and the scope of its operations.
All right, so we are regulated by the Central Bank of Barbados. We're a Tier 3 financial institution. We have offices in Barbados and in St. Lucia, Castries, St. Lucia. And we came into being in September 2010. And of course, at March 2015, which is the last point of where we were audited, we were at $200 million in terms of our total assets, moving from 180 last year to 200 million. So we are reasonably large in terms of the the Tier 3 institutions that he spoke about. And our offices stretch between Barbados and St. Lucia, which gives us that additional footprint. And obviously outside of that then, we have a cadre of our suite of services that moves from mortgages for retail, mortgages for commercial, to investment advice, to insurance brokerages, to offering an insurance brokerage service. So I think that we are pretty diversified.
Okay. So Paul, tell me, who exactly can do business with Capita? Is it restricted to companies, or can an individual come in and take a loan or do any kind of business with Capita?
Sure. Good question. Thank you for the question again. Presently, and I think that has been the situation from 2010, where we took Capita over and rebranded. The makeup in terms of who can do business has been both commercial entities as well as retail persons. So individuals like yourself certainly can do business with Capita from a savings standpoint. You can come here if you had a bit of cash that you got as you were paid out from an organization, or you were saving some money and you weren't happy with the interest that you were getting. You can do business with us if you wanted a loan. But conversely, the commercial person or commercial entity really can do business with us as well. So it is both. It is both commercial, it is retail. You would find that a number of entities usually just work with retail.
Yeah.
And commercial is, because commercial is so broad, there's a limit to how much commercial loans people would do. But we do commercial loans as well. We take deposits from entities, commercial entities as well. So we are straddling both fences in terms of working in the retail sector with the individual like yourself, and then working in the commercial sector where there are entities that we do business with, whether that business be loan business or whether that business be deposit business. So we're on both sides of the fence.
Okay, so Paul, can you tell me a little bit more about some of the services that are offered by Capita Financial?
The services are as follows. There is the deposit taking side, in which we offer fixed deposits or fixed investments services to retail and or commercial clients. To that extent, we have a Step It Up product, which is a product that spans a savings product that spans a 18-month period. Mm-hmm. And so every 6 months, the interest rate that you're paid increases or steps up.
Okay.
On the loan side, we have a number of loan offerings. We have mortgages for retail and the commercial entities. We have 100% mortgages for the middle to lower end of the market, where obviously if, depending on your income and you're not earning the particular amount of money, or you're working with yourself, you're single mom or whatever, and you need a mortgage, then we have a 100% mortgage. Doesn't include legal fees, but 100% mortgage up to $450,000 for house and land, and $250,000 for just land, mm-hmm. right? So that really helps the single individuals. We see a lot of single moms. Not knocking the men, but we're seeing a lot of single women coming forward for those type of mortgages. We obviously do car loans as well. We also do leasing, but that is more a commercial type venture. Yeah. Where a number of companies are opting now for leasing of vehicles as opposed to purchasing vehicles like years gone by. And from a standpoint of our brokerage, because we have an insurance brokerage in which we broker insurance services, we have a health plan that we have with our parent company, the Public Workers Credit Union, and that plan is open to any person who is a member of the credit union. Carries with it a number of benefits, very important benefits, but for sure that plan would benefit any person who is in the Public Workers Credit Union, and we have brokered that plan with the Insurance Corporation of Barbados. So from savings to loans to leasing, corporate leasing, to insurance, having an insurance brokerage, and then the last offering that we have, which makes it pretty wide, is the whole idea of investment advice. Now, I go into that quickly because we are registered brokers on the Barbados Stock Exchange. So what that means is if you wanted to buy some shares in any company listed on the exchange and you were interested in getting some advice before you purchase, we can do both. We can offer you the advice, but we can then as well put through the trade so that you can actually purchase, or if you knew someone that was selling shares and you wanted to buy some, then we can do that as well. So again, pretty much diversified, running the gamut of savings, loans, investments and investment advice, and also brokering of insurance services, general services, and life in terms of that insurance component.
Okay. We're going to take a short commercial break with Kick Energy Drink and be back with more Money Matters.
This commercial break is brought to you by Kick Energy Drink and Clayton's Cola Tonic.
Meet Al Colado. He's been around here for over 50 years, and he is one cool penguin. And this is Joe Cool. Now he's just landed here, and he is cooking.
Man, how did you survive 50 years of this heat?
Well, I'll tell you, son. All these years, I've been using
Al Colado Glacial, the methylated splash lotion that's cool and refreshing.
Now that's cool. You cool?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Me too. Hey, maybe we're related.
Hi, my name is Chef Peter Tosh.
Hi, I'm Chef Nikita.
And I'm Chef Dario.
And we're going to be at Barbecue Fest Barbados.
Here at the beautiful Bellevue Plantation.
So just come on out on the birthday of Barbados, 30th of November.
From 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. It's going to be a fantastic day. We're going to have a great lineup of chefs.
We invite everybody from Barbados to come and enjoy the festival.
Bellevue House or Bellevue Plantation Estate is your #1 venue for weddings, private functions, entertainment events, large family holidays, or retreats. Bellevue is located just 10 minutes from Bridgetown and South Coast beaches and has a lovely view across the Bridgetown Harbor. We have large entertainment rooms, spacious grounds with large swimming pool and bar area. There are 2 large dining tables that are great for elegant dining or holding board meetings. If you want a classy, spacious, affordable location to hold your important function in style, call Bellevue today, cause we'll go that extra mile.
Welcome back. We're here once again, as I said, with Mr. Paul Maxwell, the CEO of Capita Financial, and we're getting some very interesting information on Capita and what it does. Now, Paul, many may say it's an unprecedented thing for a credit union to own a company such as Capita. How has it benefited the credit union, its members, and the market as a whole?
I think the whole question of being unprecedented is unprecedented maybe for the Barbados market, but even within the Barbados market, I think that the credit unions, if you're aware, own the insurance company called Cooperators General. Yes. So it is not by any stretch of the imagination out there like Mars, far off like Mars. It is something that is understood. It is, especially in the credit union environment in the United States, there are credit unions that have come together to own companies that offer IT processing. There are credit unions that have come together to own insurance companies like we have here. And there are credit unions who come together to own credit card companies, credit card processing companies. So I think that the whole question of the enlarged footprint, as it were, where credit unions are saying, well, given our critical mass, because you now have credit unions who have 70,000, 80,000 members, assets really of 800 to 900 million. So you have credit unions who are actually bigger than some banks. For them, it is a question of how do I really supply, how do I satisfy these 80,000 people that I have in relation to the range of financial services. So I think that the whole discussion has to be in terms of what is the strategic focus, what is the strategic direction of the persons who hold office in the credit unions and the credit union movement with respect to the large grouping of persons that they now have under their guidance. And I think to that extent then, when Capita was purchased, I think that there were three issues that the board at the time had essentially put forward. And the first issue was the enlarged footprint in terms of you had access now to 4,000 in total when you look at the whole question of the deposit clients, the loan clients, the insurance brokerage clients. You had access to a cadre of persons who were either not in the credit union or not planning to join because of the fact that they enjoyed relationships with tier 3 entities. You also had a situation as a second component where you had an opportunity to have a footprint now in St. Lucia, which, as you know, is certainly one of the stronger, if not the strongest, of the 8 territories in the OECS. And then last but by no means least, you had a situation where you had a return on your investment. Over the years, we've had profits every single year. Recently, last year, we paid our first dividend to public workers. And so you had an opportunity to create part of that thrust of investment and to have a return for the membership for the credit union. Now, the thing in respect of Capita and credit unions owning entities will be a discussion going forward. But as credit unions get larger, I think that it will be something, once it is properly regulated as our purchase was, I think you would see more of it. And to get to your final question in terms of has it benefited the individual member, I think that is something that is a definite. Now, what happens in situations is that it has to create wealth and it has to create value at the organization level, first and foremost. So, in other words, John Public and Joe Public feel it after it is created a big wave at the organization level. Yeah. So you buy a Capita, you establish a Cooperatives General at the organization level. And how John Public benefits from that is that he now has a situation where if he wanted investment advice and he wanted to sell, for example, shares in a company on the stock exchange that was being sold, could very well happen. In fact, it is happening now. He could come to Capita and he could get investment advice and he could sell his shares, or if he wanted and somebody else wanted to sell his shares, he could purchase the shares. We also have a situation where, like for many persons, they've been laid off and they were previously working at entities that were pretty substantial. So they had health plans, they had pension plans. These persons are now out there working for the same companies but working on their own. So they have no health plans. So we now have a health plan that we can offer to those persons who were previously members or members of the credit union but had no way before of gaining access to a group plan or a plan that had group rates, right? Because obviously, as an individual, you would be paying more than if you joined a plan with 15,000 people or 1,500 people. So the thrust then is organizational first, adding value to the organization, and then reaching the ordinary man. And I think that at this point, the ordinary man has felt the impact of Capita based upon the services that we offer and based upon what he can get now in the market, right? And based upon the financials that he's seeing at the consolidated level, because he's seeing now a situation where the entity that he's bought is adding to the bottom line and not taking away from the bottom line. So I think the first issue is establishing that value is being added at the organizational level. Once value is being added at the organization level, then it trickles down eventually, right, over a very short space of time to the individual. And I think that once that is done, where Capita has employed now, we have 30 people between Barbados and St. Lucia. We actually just hired a compliance manager, an operations manager. So again, these are all benefits that would not have existed if not for a subsidiary. So the benefit at the person level, the retail level, certainly is being felt. And I think that once we get accustomed to it, and I think we are pretty much accustomed to Corporates General, for example, the building that Corporates General has built, we are pretty much accustomed to Capita. We are sponsors now of Gospel Fest, Laughter and Jazz. So we pretty much are stable on the scene, the entertainment scene, the advertising scene. So I think that benefit is pretty much definitely at the organization level and now beginning to be felt at the retail level for the actual individual member.
Okay, so can you be a little bit more specific then on the benefits that are now accruing to your sole shareholder, the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited?
Credit Union, as you know, has owned Capita since 2010, September 2010. And I think over the 5 years, there are 4 benefits that we have been able to add to the whole table or list of things that, that are on the table for the Credit Union. I think the first thing is the reach or enlarged footprint. I think the issue of the persons who are customers of Capita are now essentially given access to the credit union. So the credit union has an additional between 4,000 to 5,000 persons, whether that be broken down between persons who have deposits, persons who have loans, persons who have business with our insurance entity, and of course now persons who are members of the health plan. So we have, the credit union now has an enlarged footprint or an enlarged group of persons, a catchment area that is larger in terms of going after those entities. The credit union now also has a situation by owning Capita where, because the credit union is retail, the credit union is strictly retail, it now has access to commercial entities for deposits, commercial entities for loans. All right. At the end of our financial year, March 2015, we actually had $100 million in group cash. Right. So you could very well break down that, and at least 40% of that cash belonged to Capita. So $100 million in group cash augured well when 40 to 50% of those funds came from Capita. Now, the third issue, I think, is the whole question of diversification, right? I think that the question of what market do you serve, if given the opportunity, a number of entities would probably want to be able to leapfrog the financial shores of Barbados or coastline. And we've been able to do that by having a small office in St. Lucia. So I think that the small office, given the fact that St. Lucia has a very strong credit union movement, we're partnering with the credit union movement in St. Lucia now actually to move our offices over to a building that they have recently bought. So we're doing a number of things in that regard in terms of having that differentiated office or having that office beyond our shores. And I think last but by no means least, we have a situation in which, because of the offering of services that we have here at Capita, we are able to complement what the Public Workers Credit Union is doing. And I think that comes home very forcefully with the launch of the health plan, right? because the health plan was brokered through our insurance, Capita's insurance brokerage, with an insurance company, but essentially gave a 4-in-1 benefit where members of because you have to be a member of the credit union to be a member of the plan. And it gave you a benefit in terms of your major medical, it gave you preventative illness, it gave you critical illness, and it gave you term insurance. So there was a 4-in-1 benefit. And I think that plan, to me, has got to be one of the best, if not the best plan in the market at the group level. Because critical illness is something that you usually, just to talk about critical illness quickly, if diagnosed with one of 11 illnesses, on diagnosis, you get $50,000 to essentially take care of yourself. So we wouldn't go through the 11 triggers now, but for example, one trigger would be a particular form of cancer. Now, if you are diagnosed with that, I think the first thing on people's mind, if you're diagnosed with a critical illness, is not just being ill, but being ill and being broke.
Right.
So I think, being ill is enough, but being ill and not having money, because money gives you access to treatment, money gives you access to treatment at a premium in terms of time. Because when you're ill, you don't want to sit around and wait for 6 months to get a CAT scan or 8 months or what. So it brings you closer to a date that you would be more comfortable with. So the whole question of having that plan for members of the credit union who by and large probably wouldn't be able to afford that plan on their own, and especially if those persons are now not employed with big employers like before, then to me, that adds significant value. So from a perspective of footprint, from a perspective of moving Capita, having its shores lifted by being in St. Lucia, right. From a perspective of the products that we're able to offer to complement the credit union, and from a perspective of the return, because as I said earlier, we've given a dividend from last year, and we will continue to do so going forward. Then it adds significantly to how we think we benefited the credit union.
Hi, do you want to win $500 just in time for Christmas? Well, watch Money Matters TV show every Thursday at 8:02 on CBC TV 8, repeated on Sundays at 4 p.m. All you have to do is watch for the question of the day and text the word money plus the answer to short code 2216 for your chance to win. Text as many times as you like, whether you're with Flow or Digicel. Happy texting and good luck. And today's question of the day is, what is my first name? Well, that was it for another exciting episode of Money Matters. I want to thank Mr. Paul Maxwell, the CEO of Capita Financial, for being here with us. It was a very, very informative and entertaining episode. I sure learned a lot, and I hope you guys learned a lot as well. Paul, thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay.
The Barbados Public Workers